Hello, Ian. How you doing, mate?
I'm fine and dandy, sir. How
Good,
are
good.
you?
I'm good, thanks. Delighted to be chatting with you.
Yeah,
How's life
well,
in Liverpool? I should look out the window and have a look.
yeah. It's quite nice today. It has been raining quite a lot, but
Yeah,
it's lovely today. And obviously, being in the best city in the world.
he's right. Yeah, can't disagree with that. Listen, before
Yeah.
we talk about your two books, the Twilight Cruise and Nowhere Man, tell us what you do for fun outside of writing. What hobbies have you got?
Basically, I used to do a lot of martial arts. I did it
Oh,
for many years.
yeah.
Um, I was fifth degree black. I was
Wow.
also a coach.
Yeah.
So I did it for probably 33 years in total.
Wow.
Had my own club,
Yeah.
and unfortunately gave it up about 10 years. And one of the lads actually continued doing it. Sean Martin, he runs Hammer Martial Arts up in
Oh,
St Helens,
yeah.
which is a MMA club, and they're doing brilliant. They're doing fantastic all over the world.
Yeah, it's taken off, hasn't it?
So, yeah, I keep thinking of going back and visiting them, but I'm not sure I could take it hiding anymore.
Oh,
So.
My three granddaughters, when the eldest Lily, she's just got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But with the three of
Yeah,
them going like once a week, it's cost them a fortune. Every time
yeah,
the grade goes up. Like I remember 40 years ago, I was doing judo and we could dye the belts, do white, yellow, orange, get darker. So you
yeah,
dye them. This time, no, they have to buy separate belts for each, upgrade.
that's it. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I did it for a lot of years, but I was doing it in community centres and things like that.
Yeah.
Hammer now is basically a fitness centre in St Helens, and they've got their own dojo. They've got mats, they've got the ring set up, and also all the weights and everything. It's totally different from when I was doing it. So, I definitely don't run anymore. That's gone. So play golf now instead.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So run a golf society.
Oh yeah.
So we play all over the Northwest, North Wales.
Yeah.
So
you don't think it was
that keeps me busy.
You don't think of it spoiling a good walk, then you enjoy it.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, but it takes a lot of tension out of work. You've got something to hit. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good healthy getting out there in the open.
Like I said, we play a lot of nice courses. So we've just been away over in Wales. Beautiful courses, lovely scenery.
Yeah.
So it's just a relax, isn't it? Instead of work. So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, we all need something to unwind with. I was going to ask you about Pete Chegwin. I chatted to him last week about his book, The Lost Dogs of Mauritius, and about Leaso Lighthouse. How come you know? Is it through Twitter or social media? Nice one. Yeah.
Yeah, it got delivered that the other day, so I've got to read it. Yeah, but no, I've known Pete for over 20 years. The industry I'm in, which is physical security, doing the likes of fencing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he did the CCTV, the access, running cables for us, etc. So we made a good pairing, basically. So as we've moved to different businesses, we've just carried it on. And obviously we've become friends along the way. So, and he actually asked me about writing a book because I wrote originally Twilight Cruise, and then I was partway through Nowhere Man, and he messaged me and said he was thinking of doing a book, and what did I think, and would it cost a lot? And I went, no, I said, you can do it. Basically, everything's free. It's all in your head. You write it all down, and as long as you've got the time to do it, it'll cost you nothing. So
Amazon.
It's only once you go to professional editors and professional, trying to get it published, then it becomes costly. So it's the stories are there in your head. If you're willing to write them down and then you want to publish them, Amazon, you can do it for absolutely nothing, for free. So.
Did you try, before you published Twilight, did you try and connect with the traditional publisher? I know loads of people do, and it takes forever and they get frustrated and cheesed off.
I did. I probably queried it about 20 times.
Yeah.
And I was getting a little bit frustrated. So I thought I'll just self-publish it, see how it goes.
Yeah, let the public decide.
Obviously, it took off quite well, Twilight. And with The Nowhere Man, I actually... I put that onto a thing called PitMad on Twitter.
Yeah.
And PitMad, you basically pitch your book in 3 tweets. basically a lot of what they called publishers, people like that.
Yeah.
They all join together and read all those tweets.
Yeah.
So if they like your book from those 3 tweets, all they've got to do is click on like, and then they send you a request then for the first, whatever, 5-10 pages.
Yeah.
And then following that, obviously, if they like your book again, they'll take it on. So I only actually queried the Nowhere Man twice, put it on PitMad, and it was picked up straight away.
Oh, brilliant.
And there was a company in Ohio called Sage's Tower. Yeah. They took it on to publish it. Yeah. And we were going through the editing stage and everything. It got to a certain point, and Jeremy, the man who ran it, took ill and offered everybody the contract back.
Oh, deal.
So, like I say, I took it back. So, it's again self-published.
Well, it's a sign of the success of it. I know it didn't get like the full extent it didn't out there, but it shows the quality in there. And I think as well, if people are sort of undecided whether to go down Amazon route, in a way, you let the public decide. If the book's crap, no one's going to buy it. If it's decent, people will buy it, and they'll put reviews on there, and they'll tell their mates and friends about it, spread the word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I said, the reviews are brilliant, and a lot of people read a book and they just go, "Yeah, it's fantastic that," and they might put a little bit on Facebook. "Yeah, I've just read this; is brilliant." Yeah. But the reviews on Amazon are what basically push the book. So the more people review it, the better. Yeah. So
I've said that to people in my book. Even if you just put 3 words on, this a decent read. You don't have to write War and Peace, just a little comment, just to get them review numbers up as well. And sometimes like a poor review, like 2 stars, it makes the 5 stars reviews look more, what's the word, more honest in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just your mates and your family writing them 5 stars.
I got one on Twilight Cruise, which was the fella that put a 1 star, and it put the side of it, not what I was expecting.
Well, what'd you buy it?
And I was thinking, well, there's a synopsis, there's a write-up on Amazon. Why did you buy it if it's not what you wanted? Yeah. And I think what he's done is bought it thinking it's part of the Twilight,
Zone,
whatever series.
Yeah, the teenager.
So he's just seen Twilight. He's gone, started to read it and gone, oh yeah, that's not what I wanted. But instead of saying I bought the wrong book, turned around and went, 1 star. So well, that's the only bad one of that.
Well, that touch was, brilliant. The image of Kenny behind you, it reminds me, a reviewer for my book left a comment saying, I decently read this, but it was let down by the mention of Chris Lawler. And Chris Lawler, he was just a character in my book, fiction. Yeah. And he's thinking of the ex-Liverpool player, from the 60s, 70s, Chris Lawler. I thought, what the hell? How can you get that on your mind? As though I'm pretending to write about the footballer, Chris Lawler. But anyway, you left a review.
But reviews really do help, and it takes a bit of time for people to go and do it, but it's a nice touch.
Yeah, so, definitely. Yeah.
I try if I do read books, which I don't read that many to be honest, but if I do, I'll leave a review for it. So
it's lifeblood in a way for a writer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned that this reviewer, he didn't get the Twilight. Tell me about it. Tell me about the genre. It's a novella, isn't it? It's about 100 pages, is it?
It's it's 100. I think it's 110 pages, but it's basically the genre started off as a bit of a comedy. We met an elderly woman. She's 83 when we met her on a cruise. Yeah. And my wife got talking to her. She's from South Wales. My wife got talking to her and she started to tell her that she'd been on 60 cruises with her husband over the years.
Be rich.
And this was her first cruise on her own because her husband had died. Oh. And that's what planted the seed for the story. Yeah. Although it's not about, Faye her name was, although it's not about Faye, it just planted a seed that, hang on a minute, what's she done over all them years? What's she seen? What's she, what 50 years ago, what was the ships like? Yeah. So it just, and my wife still actually talks to her all the time. We've been down and visited her. So it's been about, I think she's 87 now, 88. So
has she had a read?
But, I've sent her the books. Yeah. So she loved it. Yeah, well, she's a lovely woman, and obviously the story, she related to the story straight away.
Yeah,
because of it going back over the years. So
I've started to read of it, and it reads to me like a sort of, it's like a comedy in a way, like a romantic comedy, is it? Would you say?
Yeah, it is. It's basically a dark comedy. That's how they pushed it originally because of the ending. But it's there's a lot of comedy in it because the two of them, the husband and wife, Mary and Eddie, they just bounce off each other all the way through it. So
I thought the dialogue spot on. Yeah, the dialogue spot on with it, I thought.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's basically where that one came from. So,
okay. Is this a standalone, or you tend to like make this as a part of a series of?
I started to write a sequel to it called Twilight in Paradise, and I've probably got about a third of the way into it.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of got stuck. So I was like, well, do I carry on? So I've just put it to one side and thought, well, I'll go back to it. So yeah.
On your website. By the way, did you create the website yourself? Have you done that?
I did, yes.
That's superb. There's loads on there, more than you see. Like there's merchandise on there, which I don't think I've seen on any other author's website, where you get like mugs and things.
No, I do a lot of promotions for work and things like that. So I was just like, well, what I'll do, I'll just look into it. And to be fair, it's there. People see it and go, oh, I wonder what that's about. Like yourself just mentioned it.
Yeah.
So basically, there's 2 cups, one for the Nowhere Man and one for Twilight Cruise in the office. Yeah. And every book that's been signed has been given away. No one's actually bought one. So it's just been, people come up. We have a place in Wales, a caravan over in Wales, and a lot of the people on there. Yeah. I believe you wrote a book. Yeah. So I just give them away, basically.
What's costing you then? Or are you getting the author's copies like cheap from Amazon? £4 a go or whatever they are.
Yeah. I try and get some author's copies, and then if anyone asks for them, I just give them away. So
yeah. Oh, all right.
But,
you should.
It gets it out there.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, spreads the word, doesn't it? In a way. Whereabouts in Wales? We've been going to a caravan in Mold, or just outside Mold. About an hour's.
No, we're over
hour and 20 minutes.
Gronald.
Oh yeah.
Gronald's area by Preston way.
Yeah, I know.
So down there, and but we're there all the time. We love it. So quiet, peaceful.
Yeah, it charges your batteries, doesn't it? Getting away for the weekend.
That's it. Yeah.
On your website, there's a thing. You've put a link at this thing called Tail. I can't pronounce it. Tail Flip.
Tail Flip.
What is that? Is that like a pitch to try and sell the television and film rights?
It's basically there's a producer called Yuri Singer who set it up.
Oh yeah.
And when I first looked at it, I was thinking it's blag. It's basically I had a read through it, but there's a good chance once you get it on there, it helps you with your Facebook and your Twitter and promotions.
Oh yeah.
No, I actually put the book on there just to promote it and use it for that. But then they had a competition called the Road to Development.
Oh yeah.
And there was like so many thousand books in it. And it goes out to screenwriters, all that kind of stuff, producers. They all have a read of it. Yeah. And then it went through a competition. And the first email I got was, you've made it through to the top 125 books.
Brilliant.
So I went, that'll do. That's great. Straight on Facebook. I'm in the top 125. Then I got one saying it's in the top 50. Yeah. I was like, oh, right, brilliant. Yeah. Done. Then 25. Yeah. Then it went down to 6. Yeah. And it said that on the 8th of August, the last 3 would, the winner of the last 3 would be picked. Yeah. On the 6th of August, I'll play this. 6th of August, I got a phone call in work. Well, I actually missed the call. They left a voicemail for me. Yeah. And when I listened to the call, I was quite shocked because it was this fella.
Hi, Ian. It's Ricky Tomlinson. I'll give you the call back
Could you hear that?
Ricky Tomlinson.
Yeah.
My ass.
That's the voicemail saying, I'll give you a ring back.
Yeah.
Which he did a bit later.
The real, the proper Ricky, not a joke. Not
yes, Ricky Tomlinson, yeah.
Yeah.
I was, I'd sent me book to John Martin, the comedian.
Yeah.
He used to write for the likes of, I don't know, all the old comedians.
Yeah.
He got in touch with him on Twitter. He put me in touch with Ricky Tomlinson, who he just gave my book to.
Yeah.
He then read it, and when he rang me back, I spent 40 minutes talking to him about it, and he was saying, right, this will make a fantastic film. We can film it out just outside the Mersey, and we can do this, and we can do that.
Yeah.
So he's telling me all this stuff.
Yeah.
I spent 40 minutes, and I said to him, I've got to tell you that it's actually in a competition in Hollywood at the minute.
Yeah.
And if it wins on, like, this was on the 6th of August, I said, if it wins on the 8th, I'm basically tied in.
Yeah.
And he went, the Americans, we're having it. I said, well, if it wins, I'll let you know. Anyway, it won.
Wow.
So it got optioned.
Yeah.
It was optioned for the film.
Yeah.
And they wrote the, it's called a treatment. They wrote the treatment to be sent out to producers and everything, and all that's gone through.
Yeah.
Well, the 12 months is up this month.
Wow.
So I'm hoping if they haven't done anything with it, that I can go back to Ricky and say, look, it's free for you to go ahead with.
Yeah, the rights will be available. But that's every author's dream, man, isn't it? That's what everyone aspires to, get their story on the big screen or the telly.
Yeah. It'd be fantastic if we could get it done. But,
that'd be life-changing, that, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah. But, like I said, I mean, even if he said it'd probably be like a low-budget film or whatever, but even at that, it gets you out there, it gets your name out there. So.
Yeah. I think you need to complete part 2 just for when this film deal goes through.
Well, that's it, yeah.
What else have you got on your bottom drawer? Well, here you go. Here's 2 more. It's the next 2 episodes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, well, we'll see what happens with that.
No, that's brilliant. I made up for you. That's I don't know what to say now. I'm just pondering on that. I'm just delighted for you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if it happens, brilliant. But we'll see.
Let me know anyway.
I will do. Yeah. Keep you updated.
All right. Moving on then to your next book, Nowhere Man. Tell me, what is this? Another romantic comedy?
No, that's basically a paranormal thriller.
Oh.
And it was during when COVID first started. I actually ended up locked in the back bedroom for 16 days because I was in a bad way. So, but luckily the computer and everything's in here. So I started to write a book.
Yeah.
And there's a picture which is on the bedroom wall in the room of a bridge going over into a misty forest.
Yeah. And
that gave me the idea of the Nowhere Man, just somebody in the distance that you can't see properly. Yeah. So I started to write it on that, and then the story just evolved from there. So
it makes me think of the Beatles song, "The Nowhere Man." Is that associated?
No, it's nothing to do with it. No, it's just when I first started to write the book, this man was in the distance, and you couldn't tell who he was or where he was from or anything. So and during the start of the book, Sarah, the main character, she actually gets drawn into that picture to try and find out who that person is.
Yeah.
So, and obviously it carries on from there.
Yeah. What do you reckon that had been sort of germinating in your subconscious, with all this time that you've had this picture in the bedroom? And then it just articulated itself. Didn't you feel like crap though? Did you have COVID? Did you have full-blown COVID when you were?
Oh yeah, I was in a bad way. I've had it twice, and possibly a third time, but the first time, that was terrible.
Was it?
That was when it first started.
Yeah.
I was in a bad way, yeah. So my missus wouldn't feed me anything except toast and kippers. No, that's all that'd go under the door.
Going back to the Nowhere Man again, is this a standalone, or do you intend to?
No, a lot of people like the character of Sarah, and so I've just started a second book following on from that called Nowhere Child.
Okay.
Which she's like the main character again in. So yeah, she in the first one she meets the police officer named Leslie, and basically she's now friendly with her, and she's goes out, for coffees and whatever with her, and the pair of them end up being involved in the story. So
you mentioned Twitter and Facebook. Do you use other social media platforms for promotion?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and what's the other one? TikTok.
Oh yeah,
I'm on them, but I don't utilize them enough because I don't really know how to use them.
I wouldn't have a clue myself.
Facebook and Twitter are the main two that I use.
Yeah.
So now and again I use Facebook ads, but
do they work for you?
If someone, what was that? Sorry.
Do they work for you, the Facebook ads?
Yeah. I've had quite a few where I've sold books on there.
Yeah.
So, but that the actual Facebook, just putting it out on Facebook, I tend to just, if I get a good review or whatever, I'll put the review on Facebook and see how it runs. And I had a couple of good reviews earlier this week. So I think I've sold 6 books in the last 4 or 5 days.
Nice one.
Just from putting those out there. So
have you got the book format? Have you got the in paperback and the Kindle at the minute?
Yes.
Have you looked at doing the hardback or maybe audio version?
The Nowhere Man, I looked at the hardback version, but I think it needs to be a thicker book really to be hardback.
Yeah, it's more expensive as well, isn't it?
Well, yeah, there's the expense of it, but it's also 168 pages is not really a big book, so I don't think it'd work right. And the audio book, I've been looking into it the last couple of weeks. Yeah. So, but it'd be nice if I can get Ricky Tomlin to read it.
Oh yeah, well, that's sold by itself. Why don't you put to Ricky? There's I'm sure you've looked at it on the ACX site linked with Amazon. Yeah. There's a royalty share option where you don't have to pay up front for the production costs. Basically, well, if Ricky, for instance, if he can get into a recording studio and do it, you'd share 20% each of any royalties from it.
Yeah. Yeah, good look at that. Well, like I said, is that ACX, did you say?
Yeah, ACX, yeah.
I'll have to have a look at that.
They've got about 1 million help pages on there. I did it with my own. I think something, figure at the top of my head, something like 5,000 quid, I think it might cost to pay someone to go away and produce it, because it takes hours and hours, of editing and getting it spot on. If you pay someone up front, then you get 40% of the royalties. But if someone shares with you, especially if you've got like a celebrity like Ricky, you both be making on it. Yeah. Advice for a new writer, someone who's thinking, I've got a story in my head, because everyone says it to me.
I'd say basically start now. Yeah. Just whatever you want to write down, because every single person's got a story. You come home from work, you tell your missus, this happened today, that happened today. You're sitting in the pub with your mates, been doing this, that, and the other. You'd all have a laugh and a joke. Just write it down. Yeah. Just write it down, embellish it, put a bit of a twist in it, make a story, and go for it. Because every single person's got that story in their head.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
And the age doesn't matter either. You got a 5-year-old telling stories, you got a 90-year-old telling stories. So just do it.
How long have you been writing for? You've written these in the past couple of years, haven't you? These two.
Started Twilight Cruise in 2016. Yeah. And then the first lockdown, I wrote the rest. I wrote some more of the book. I hadn't actually told my wife that I'd done it.
Oh yeah.
So I printed it all out. Yeah. There was probably 9 chapters. Printed it out and gave it to her, and she is a reader. So I gave it to her, and she read it, and she went, "Who's writing that?" I went, "Me." She went, "No way, you've not wrote that." I went, "No, I have." She went, "I love it." So then, obviously, I carried on, and Tracy read it right through, and then we passed it to Tracy's mate, who's a teacher, Dawn. She read it as well, and they both come back and said, "Yeah, brilliant." So obviously, that's when I went forward and published it. So. But 2016 I started it. It took me to 2020 to finish it, because I just started it and then didn't have time. So
did you edit like a million times, like a lot of writers do? No, they don't know when to give up.
I edited the first one myself, and then obviously the Nowhere Man, Catherine Hull, edited that.
Oh yeah,
and I found her on Twitter. It's absolutely fantastic. She's brilliant.
I've heard
She
great things
also
about
helped
Catherine.
She helped with the cover as well.
Oh yeah.
And that cover is actually the picture that the idea came from.
Oh.
And then it's just been like changed a little bit. The bridge going over into the forest.
Yeah.
That is that picture.
Okay.
So
Catherine, she did Pete Chegwin's books as well. She's edited his work.
Yes, I put Pete in touch with her. Yeah.
And she's in Italy at the minute. I think she's been posting.
She's away somewhere. Yeah. So I seen a tweet before. She's on Nutella croissants or something.
Oh, yeah, for breakfast.
Doesn't sound good to me.
On holiday, aren't you allowed, I suppose?
Yeah.
Listen, Ian, it's the time has absolutely flown by, but it's been great chatting with you. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the chat, and I'll let you know what happens with Ricky and the book.
Please, yeah, definitely, yeah. But let's keep in touch as we have been on Twitter.
I will do, yeah, no problem.
All right, but for now, Ian, cheers, mate.
Cheers. See you later.